Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn says he'll plead the Fifth rather than turn over documents related to the Russia probe. In a letter to the Senate Intelligence Committee, Flynn cited escalating public frenzy in refusing to turn over records. Democrats say the committee will gain information other ways. And former FBI Director James Comey is expected to testify on Capitol Hill in the coming weeks. Both Republican and Democratic lawmakers say they will ask Comey if President Trump tried to interfere with FBI investigations. Joining us now is Tim Carney, commentary editor of the Washington Examiner. Tim, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
So we heard that Flynn is going to take the Fifth here. How is this going to impact the investigation into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election?
Well, the investigation really is focusing in on Flynn. It seems that the investigation of sort of Trump world, Trump campaign, Trump White House really has more and more boiled down to Mike Flynn and then Paul Manafort, who was a campaign chairman for a period last summer. And that those two are the two that have had repeated conversations with Russian leaders and weren't always forthcoming and disclosing what it is. So Flynn pleading the Fifth in the congressional investigation, that's really, it's focusing in on him, and he's the one who is really going to have the information to provide.
So you don't think that they will be able to get very far without Flynn?
No, I mean, I really think that when we talk about this as a Trump campaign, Trump administration, it's Mike Flynn, Paul Manafort. That's who the investigators are zooming in on.
So we also talked about earlier that the president is visiting the oldest religions, Christianity, Islam, and of course, Judaism. Callista Gingrich is going to be the ambassador to the Holy See. Pope Francis is going to meet with President Trump on Wednesday. How significant do you think the role of religion is in foreign policy?
Well, it's absolutely essential as we see this, and that's what Trump was trying to address in Saudi Arabia, where he was talking about Islam and differentiating that, as all his predecessors have, the difference between Islam and radical Islamic terrorism. That's at the heart of the fundamental foreign policy problem that we're facing, which is Islamic terrorism. And then Israel being in that region, they're having the sort of unique, tough relationship with them. It forms the entirety of our foreign policy, those two religions. And then Trump's campaign was very interesting on religion because he's not somebody who was forthcoming about his religion, but he realized it became an essential part of his political coalition was Christians here in America, and then later on especially kind of observing Catholics. So it's all at the heart of what he's doing. It's why he picked this as his first trip, to show that he holds religion as a central part in geopolitics.
And moving to Mick Mulvaney, tomorrow is the budget release. He's the director of the Office of Management and Budget. He was on the Hill earlier briefing people. The White House is releasing the blueprint. What do you expect to be the hot points?
Well, so one of the hot points, I think, and it's very interesting from a Catholic perspective, is that the Trump budget, the original document that hints at what this will say, really makes a difference between what's the proper role of the federal government as opposed to what should be a local role or a private role. The idea of subsidiarity is almost baked into this budget, where it's saying this local schools, very important, but not a national issue. And so if the budget really makes that argument and says something being really important doesn't make it a federal issue, that I think can really highlight a difference between different ways of thinking on Capitol Hill, and maybe provide an opportunity for us to talk about subsidiarity, which we don't get to talk about all the time.
Which we never talk about, and most people don't know what it is as a Catholic social teaching, saying that things begin at the local level. All right, thank you so much. Tim Carney, commentary editor of the Washington Examiner.
Thank you.